Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. Turks are converting their assets to buy gold in a declining economy. And why that won't happen here. Let's explore! Yes, that's right. There is an economic decline, and the Lira is in trouble in Turkey right now. And there is a lot of people there that are really concerned. And so, what are they doing? Well, they're thinking of selling their cars and houses in order to buy gold. But what is that really so different than what they're already doing? The Turks, as you may remember, I posted a video about how the Turkish mint has outpaced the United States mint in terms of gold coin production. Well, this is because it is a part of their culture, gold, and the Turks do hold gold. Well, they want to buy more. Silver Heist covered this story in a video, but I'm going to do a slightly different take on it, but I encourage you to check out his video on this topic. But I'm going to talk about this in relation to the lessons that we can learn from the Turks for here in the United States of America specifically, but in the West in general. So this comes to us from Greek City Times, and many of you had already posted about this story in the comments section from various different sources. But this is as the Turkish economy goes into a steep decline, with the Turkish lira reaching its lowest ever records to the US dollar and euro, and as unemployment hovers just below 25%, according to the renowned Turkish economist Mafi Agilmez, Turks are selling their foreign currencies to buy gold, and some are even contemplating selling their cars and houses to buy gold. Reuters spoke to Hasan Ayhan, who was using his saved-up foreign currency to buy gold at the Grand Bazaar in Constantinople, which is in Turkey, that's Istanbul. I think it's the best investment right now, so I converted my dollars to buy gold. That's right, he had dollars as a foreign currency. This harkens back to my video talking about the dollar, and is it money and is it trash? Well, and it goes to show you that as much as the dollar is being held in other nations, really the ultimate form of wealth and the preserver of wealth is gold. This is what he told Reuters in an article published last Friday. I might withdraw my lira and buy gold with it too, but I'm scared to go to the bank right now because of the coronavirus. Gunay Gunez, who has a busy booth near the market's entrance, told Reuters that he had been chatting with hundreds of people who are thinking about selling their cars or houses to invest in gold. Turks have traditionally used gold as savings, and there may be as much as 5,000 tons of it under mattresses. Reuters cited Mehmet Ali Turk, deputy head of Constantinople Gold Shops Association, referencing a story that I had posted a video on some time ago. Things are beginning to change in Turkey as they are now prioritizing US dollars and gold instead of the Turkish lira. The lira is in trouble for sure, and the dollar could be there soon. More on that here in a moment. Locals don't want to keep Turkish lira. They've been dollarizing and buying gold. Turks have hardly ever done that historically, said Samala Khan, New York-based head of EM debt strategy at Alliance Bernstein, which manages $600 billion. That is why you need proactive policies, because if you get to the stage where locals are unwilling to keep their money in the bank, then you're heading to a balance of payment crisis. That's when the alarm bells will start ringing, she said. Excessive military adventurism coupled with endemic corruption and nepotism has helped contribute to the decline of the Turkish economy, which is why Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has successfully kept his population distracted by creating a new crisis with Greece. Now, this is a Greek-based article, so this is obviously biased, which is why they refer to it as Constantinople instead of Istanbul. But you have to think about it in terms of the mention of the dollar and gold. And this is why, the United States and the West in general will not do this. It's not part of our culture. Gold has left our culture, sadly. And that's the lesson here, why it won't happen. I can talk about this. There's stories all over about gold. In this particular case, it's not going to make the mainstream news media by any stretch, because gold is something that's not really a part of our culture anymore. It used to be, but and you hear it mentioned from time to time in pop culture. You hear it mentioned in terms of the gold plan, so to speak, or the high standard of something, but it's not really related back to an actual metal, which is the foundation of our monetary system in general. You think about it, gold is a tier 1 asset as labeled by the Bank of International Settlements. It is traded between nations, but you know what? The dollar is close behind it, and I think that's the key to this story here. But how long will the dollar last? Well, the dollar is right now, it is the strength of it is so much that over 60% of the nation still hold fast to it. But really, the bottom line is that it is in trouble as well. And if it gets in the trouble that the Lira is in, what will the West do? What will Americans do? What will the world do? Well, I would hope they would turn to gold to protect themselves, and silver, but especially gold as the ultimate hedge against economic instability. And I think that's a lesson that we won't learn here in the United States unless this video or others like it reach the masses. You think about it, as gold and silver have gone up in recent weeks and months, there's been more attention. There's been an increased number of views for videos like this in this community. But really, when you think about it, it is a drop in a bucket, a very, very large bucket in terms of the whole population of the entire West. And how many people out there, their answer to economic hardship is printing more money. And that's exactly what they're doing. Modern monetary theory. And of course, that makes the dollar less valuable. The dollar has value. It has a fiat value. But the more that you print, then that means that those dollars are going to be worth less as time goes on. To the point where if we keep doing it, becoming worth less will turn into something that is worthless. That's right. And gold will never be that, because governments can fall away. They can fall apart. But gold is not tied to any government. It is not tied to any institution. And I think those in the East especially recognize that, especially those in the East who are under oppressive regimes, such as what we're seeing with Erdogan and other communist nations like China and the like. Gold is a part of their culture because it transcends different empires, different epochs, different political ideologies, and dictatorships and oligarchies, theocracies. Gold is timeless, and it doesn't have an agenda. And that is the beauty of gold. And I think it is something to be said for what's happening there in Turkey. And the Turkish people know the deal, and they knew it before this story was ever printed, for sure. And that they're holding on to gold. It's been under their mattresses. Fascinating indeed. These coins minted by the Turkish mint, they've been really busy as of late, and minting these particular pieces that people are holding under their mattresses, keeping them secret, keeping them safe. That's what they do, and they're in Turkey. So very fascinating story indeed, and interesting to see. The news breaks every day, and of where gold and silver go in our economy, and the faith in the dollar. This does tell us something. The dollar is not trash, but it can, and we should not be of the mind that it can't fall just because it's utilized in over 60% of the world. Sure, it could. When that will happen, I don't know. My guess is they will reset it in some sort of fashion, in a way. Some people think that the COVID-19 situation is a perfect cover for such a reset. We'll see how it all plays out for sure. Nonetheless, our Federal Reserve has been on a tear in terms of printing money like it's going out of style, and they've been doing it long before the coronavirus with the repurchase agreements and the like. Where will we go from here? It's anybody's guess. One thing is for sure, no matter what the dollar does, you and I, we can protect ourselves. We can become our own central bank. And how do we do it? By accumulating more gold. Because they cannot print gold. And that is the one beautiful thing about it. They can mine it, and they will mine it, mine as much as they can of it, as we heard in a previous news report that I discussed about Warren Buffett putting $500 million into a large gold mine, the biggest actually in the world, and a mining company. And so if he's doing that, well, I think that should tell us something, that we're doing the right thing in holding this precious metal. Even if you have an ounce, even if you have a tenth of an ounce, you're in a better position, I think, than most people in the West, other than their wedding rings or any jewelry that they may have, which likely in the West is going to be 18 karat or below. But nonetheless, it's always good to have a little bit of bullion around, whether it's wearable bullion or in the form of coins, rounds, and bars, for sure. And the Turks, we can take a lesson from the Turks, I think. Will we take that lesson? Will we heed their example? I think we should. So I hope you found this video informative and helpful. And I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.